We have the power of creating the outcome. We have the
The
power of
expectation.
generating what we're going to experience just by our come from. If we're expecting one thing, that's what's going to happen. If we're expecting worst case scenario, we're going to be delivered worst case scenarios because the system is sorting for worst case scenarios. If we are expecting flow and possibility and healing, and we're really embodying that, then that's what happens. The energy responds to consciousness, because what we have found is, through quantum science, the foundation of reality is consciousness. It's not material things. It's not what happened to you. It's not the fact that you were in a car accident. It's how you feel about the car accident. They never should have crossed the line. They hit my car. It never should have happened. My whiplash, my neck hasn't been the same since. We're now victimized by that. Was raised by an abusive mother. I just don't even know what love is. Victimized by mother's behavior. Now, at age 50, or 60 or 70, by then, we really have had an opportunity to turn those situations around, to turn them into something that works in our favor. But if no one has shown us how to do that, we still very clearly and legitimately feel at the effects of our past experience. So the mechanism is, I'm wishing I was in my other studio right now so that I could show you a picture of this. It's in the book, The Anatomy of Awakening, that shows a line coming, just demonstrating this wave of energy coming from this unified field, if you will, this unified field coming in and hitting the earth and rising up and cycling around. This is not the image, but it cycles around and then it projects into the world. And that's a mechanism. It literally is something that we have the opportunity to turn this on and turn this on and activate our ability to catch all this energy and let it fill the body and let it cause revelations and realizations inside of us that we are filled with answers because it's true. But if we've not been turning on that entire mechanism, we never feel the fullness of our being. We never allow for the wholeness of our system to be what we're referencing. We're overriding it by overthinking and strategizing, and we suppress that rising wisdom all the time. And so it never gets to project out into our lives as the solution that we actually are coming into this world. Think about it like this. There is a mechanism that if I turned on all the parts to it, it would allow me to know myself as a creative influence, an influence in my world. And I would be able to sense and feel this universal intelligence pouring through my system, showing up as gut feelings and intuitions and what has heart and meaning to me, and allowing that to fill my senses and allowing that to guide me to take actions in the ways that I'm meant to be taking actions in this world. But instead, if we go back to that image of this whole thing, if we cut all that off, if we cut all that away, which is how most people are operating, we think it's just up to me. I just got to go do this stuff. It's all up to me. But what if the power of the universe was behind you? What if that's what had your back and was allowing you to have the courage to speak differently into those situations, that you not speaking into them is exhausting your adrenal glands and causing your thyroid to overwork in order to cover for the adrenal glands that aren't able to do their job because we're in a constant state of stress, dysregulating our nervous system, etc., and all the other things that people are becoming so aware of in terms of self-healing and the world of educating ourselves in natural healthcare and energy medicine and so forth. There's a lot of information has come into our communities, information that I've been teaching for 40 years and that my father was teaching for 40 years prior to that. So what we have to realize is the reason that we flail physically and that we don't heal easily is because we're not using the wholeness of the system and the mechanism that is here coming in to this life to live. We negate it. We ignore it. It's invisible. We can't see it, so we don't think it's, really tangible and relevant. And so when we say, it sounds a little spiritual, we need to get a little scientific. I say, au contraire, we need both to be equal in value in the things that we're assessing if we ever really want to live into our whole full human potential. Because science is spiritual. Everything is energy. Everything is spiritual. Energy is spirit. Spiritual energy is invisible energy. Our invisible anatomy has been driving our lives, all of our lives. Our hunches, our gut feelings, our ability to digest food, maintaining our blood calcium levels the way they're supposed to be. All of it is invisible. It's all happening without us laying our eyes on it. But if we understand what's happening in our invisible anatomy, these chakras 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, they're not just static places. They serve roles. They serve functions. And it's that functionality that we need to become interested in, turning on every aspect of the big mechanism so that it can do what it came to do, what it's supposed to be doing. So if we don't get in the way, it does its thing automatically. But we've gotten in the way so much for so long that we have to learn a little bit about how to stop doing what we've been doing to shut it down so that it can kick in and do its thing again. It's just like digestion is meant to happen. And it's only that we worry too much that shuts down digestion. That's the only thing that happens. And worrying too much puts us in a state of lack and creates communities and cultures that, try to improve upon nature in ways that have created foods that are almost indigestible and, in a bio field that is almost unrecognizable, all based in fear. And, the good news is it will replenish and rejuvenate the moment that we recognize, oh, this isn't up to me as a person. This is up to me as a steward of something profound. And each one of us is made of that.
And all we need to do is allow it.
Allow it. Allow it.
So beautifully said, Dr. Sue, and helping people understand, like, science and spirituality are really like that. They're, as you said, they're not separate. Science is proving spirituality, especially what a lot of ancient traditions have been talking about for thousands of years. I want to ask you about something. I'm thoroughly enjoying the audio version of the book. And I've noticed, so in the Energy Codes book, we worked from the bottom, from the root chakra up. In this book, you're starting from the top down. And I love that. So why is that? Why are you approaching it that way?
Yeah. I found that people are in constant pursuit of enlightenment, meaning waking up to more things, being more aware, being more illuminated on a tangible, scientific, reproducible level. And also, they're ultimately seeking meaning in their life. They're seeking guidance in their life. They're seeking understanding of how it all fits together. At the end of the day, that's what everybody really wants. And if they knew that, their system would work the way it's supposed to be working if they weren't questioning it, if they were aware, if they were in touch with nature, if they were in touch with cosmic law as well as natural law. And I explain all that in the book. And the reason that I started with 12 and started talking about 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 is that if we don't start to give some airtime to 12, to our ultimate expression, the biggest version of us that is directly connected to the rest of the cosmos, if we don't start really getting to know who that version of me is, how that one walks and talks and lives and breathes and is, we never get there. We keep holding it as some goal that we're going to get to one day. Whereas what quantum science is showing us is if you just flip it over and you just sit down inside of that reality and you start living your way into the world from that vibrational frequency, from that radio station, if you will, the world of physical matter will respond to you accordingly.